In a remote forest region, environmental sensors recorded a sudden and unexplained atmospheric shift. This shift appeared without warning and followed a perfectly straight line through the landscape.
Within seconds, natural sound levels dropped to absolute zero along that line.
No wind movement was detected. No wildlife activity registered. The forest remained visually unchanged, yet acoustically silent. Recording devices positioned nearby experienced complete audio failure. Video feeds darkened despite full daylight conditions. Suggested interference not caused by weather or equipment malfunction. The affected area behaved like an invisible boundary suspended in space. Light passing through the zone bent slightly, distorting natural shadows.
Leaves falling near the boundary stopped mid-air before settling. Tree shadows aligned unnaturally, ignoring the sun's actual position. This pause lasted less than a second, but repeated consistently.
Measuring devices froze briefly at the exact boundary location. Magnetic readings near the line fluctuated without a stable pattern. The freeze always occurred for exactly 15 seconds.
Compasses failed to establish direction within the affected zone.
The surrounding environment appeared to resist entry. Soil density increased along the boundary, forming subtle resistance. This resistance behaved like compressed air hardened into form.
No animal tracks of bears crossed the boundary during the recorded period.
Wildlife consistently altered movement patterns to avoid the line.
Specifically, a herd of wildebeests consistently altered movement patterns to avoid the line. This avoidance suggested instinctive recognition of the anomaly. Footprint-like impressions formed briefly, then vanished without trace.
The forest floor inside the zone flattened unnaturally. These impressions appeared without any observable source. Their measurements repeated with perfect consistency.
A low-frequency vibration became detectable beneath the silence.
This vibration resonated through soil rather than air. Pressure sensors indicated the boundary was slowly expanding. The expansion followed the same straight geometric alignment.
Inside the boundary, environmental colors appeared desaturated.
The environment appeared to be enforcing a rule not yet understood. This marked the first recorded moment when nature itself refused entry.
As the boundary expanded, atmospheric pressure inside the zone increased steadily. This pressure caused subtle vibrations across tree trunks and ground surfaces.
Branches within the boundary aligned toward a single, unseen axis. The alignment formed unnatural symmetry across the forest.
Shadows inside the zone adjusted simultaneously, ignoring environmental light sources. A faint glow appeared near the boundary, hovering just above the ground. This glow showed no heat signature and emitted no measurable radiation. It moved slowly along the boundary, tracing the invisible line. Whenever the glow approached the border, sound levels dropped even further. The silence became dense, pressing against surrounding space.
Magnetic readings spiked and collapsed in repeating cycles.
These cycles followed a precise interval, suggesting controlled behavior. The forest appeared intact, yet visually disconnected from its surroundings.
The boundary no longer appeared static. It reacted.
Inside the boundary, light wavelengths shifted toward dull gray tones.
A distortion in the air formed a vertical rectangular outline.
This outline remained suspended, unaffected by wind or gravity. The shape resembled an opening, yet no depth could be measured. Environmental resistance intensified near this structure. Soil beneath the rectangle compacted without physical contact. Footprint-like impressions appeared again, perfectly aligned.
The surrounding space bent inward toward the rectangle.
A low-frequency hum emerged beneath detectable sound levels. They formed in synchronized sequence, then faded instantly.
This hum traveled through matter rather than air.
A spherical light phenomenon appeared near the ground.
The sphere emitted stable illumination without flicker.
When the sphere brightened, the rectangular distortion weakened.
The two phenomena behaved as opposing forces.
One expanded while the other contracted in response. The boundary pulsed sharply, reacting to this interaction. Light fragmented briefly across the zone, creating visual echoes. Each layer reflected the environment with slight temporal delay. These fluctuations caused light to fracture into overlapping layers.
The forest entered a state of unstable equilibrium.
The unstable equilibrium triggered rapid fluctuations across the boundary. Sound briefly returned in distorted fragments before vanishing again. The spherical light intensified, stabilizing surrounding space. The forest appeared to exist in multiple moments simultaneously.
As stabilization increased, the rectangular distortion began collapsing inward.
The collapse produced no sound, only a visible compression of space.
Soil and air snapped back to natural density.
The invisible resistance dissolved without residual force. The boundary line faded gradually, losing geometric precision. Environmental color saturation returned to normal levels. Time-measuring devices resumed continuous operation. Magnetic fields stabilized across the entire region. The low-frequency hum dissipated beneath detectable thresholds. The spherical light dimmed slowly, then vanished completely.
Tree shadows realigned with the sun's natural position.
No further footprint-like impressions appeared. No residual radiation or heat was detected afterward. The forest returned to its original acoustic state. Wind patterns resumed natural, irregular movement. The once affected area appeared indistinguishable from its surroundings. Yet recorded data confirmed the event had fully occurred. Analysis revealed no known natural model matching the anomaly.
No geological, atmospheric, or electromagnetic explanation fit completely.
The boundary appeared to follow an unknown environmental rule. This rule enforced limitation rather than destruction. The Events suggested nature possesses self-regulating thresholds. These thresholds may activate only under specific conditions.
The silent border left no physical trace of its existence.
Only recorded measurements preserved evidence of the phenomenon.
The location remains classified as environmentally unstable.
The silent border stands as proof that nature enforces rules not yet understood.